get mugs, and of course our brand new limited Amber Turds stained blanket. That's right, just for your bed or wherever you need it. So head on over to Mixed Tees now and get all your apparel and goodies from Midnight's Edge.
Get up, wake up, this is your final warning. It's time for Midnight's Edge in the morning. The gang is ready to go and it's time for the show. It's time for Midnight's Edge in the morning.
I was taught to never speak with my mouth full. Good morning, everybody. How's it going?
Going good. I wonder if
Depends on
anything,
what your mouth is full of.
Oh, good point.
Peanut butter toast. And an agony and defeat because Hollywood is fucking dead, kids.
Yeah,
We're going to get into that.
It's been a nice, relaxing morning for me. No stress at all. No breaking news stress or anything like that.
Nothing of any kind. Yeah.
Biggest thing I had to cover this morning was the update to Mario Kart. It's
Slow
a
news.
smooth day.
Slow news.
I'm just
Indeed.
going to make this easy right off the front. Fuck.
Oh, what the heck? What just happened? Tom bail on us?
Yeah, there was nothing important happening today, evidently. Yeah.
He's out. You're
Right.
muted, pal.
Yeah, and his audio still
Hollywood's
isn't back.
done. Fuck it.
Yeah.
We're done.
Just when I thought Star Trek was dead.
Yeah,
Fuck
I-
that. That's the least of my problems right now. Are you kidding me?
I actually think this is a positive
Oh,
positive event.
yeah. We'll get into all
Is
of
it
that.
really, Paul, when the first thing Netflix says is we need to start shortening the theatrical windows?
Did they say that today?
That's the literal first thing they said. Yes.
Maybe I'm wrong.
No.
Yeah. Exactly what I
I
said
had-
was going to happen was going to happen.
please be a
that one.
contrarian, sir.
Dead.
Come on.
No.
I'm
Anyway,
gonna-
Paul,
I'm
good
gonna
morning.
continue to be a contrarian, but
Yeah.
go.
Please
Well,
do, Paul.
we can wait with that until,
Yeah.
Good morning, Paul. Greetings. Welcome to the panel.
Hey,
Yes, indeed.
it's
I do
fun.
love your outfit for today. You got dressed. and
Anybody got any vodka?
I have
I have
Kahlua.
some skull vodka, like the Crystal Skull. It's highly recommended.
I've never tried it. That's supposed to be really good. Yeah.
That is
It
supposed to be
is.
good.
Not recommended enough.
It's 12 o'clock somewhere in the world.
Yes.
Yeah, not quite in Norway yet. Also joining us, Chris Brawley, who also has had a very quiet day with no write-ups of any kind over at
Yeah,
Bleeding
slept
Pool,
in.
right? Yeah,
Slip
very
in,
slow.
thought I would just browse the gaming news, see if anything was going on. So
Mario Kart
Yeah.
update.
yeah, I
Yeah.
saw that, Marvin. I think we're
Yeah,
both
exactly.
covering
Yeah,
the same thing today.
Marvin of both Geeks and Gamers and that Park Place. Any exciting news today of any kind?
Trump White House yelled at Sabrina Carpenter, so that's pretty much been my morning.
Also, they didn't yell at Somalia today. Because that's been in the news over here. I was
Mhm.
thinking maybe I'll do a video about that. Meanwhile, let us begin with the big news of today. Grimzilla says for $5, Kari Hiryuka Tagawa got to heaven, and God said, "Your soul is mine." Rest in peace to the man who understood the assignment of Chang Tsung.
He
Yes,
was
indeed.
such a wonderful Shang Tsung,
Yeah,
to the point where he became the definitive Shang Tsung.
indeed, he can never be topped.
Mm.
And he's a great actor that sadly is no longer with us. And I agree that Chang Tsung in the original Mortal Kombat from 1995 is his signature role. But he was fantastic in every role that he was ever in. He was even great in The Phantom from 1996, where he played the leader of the Sang Brotherhood. Fantastic in that, fantastic in every role, will be missed. And
Well, and he was
yeah.
he was even put into the video game in more recent years, wasn't he?
He was, yes. They basically just decided that,
DLC.
you know what, screw it. Let's just make it so that Chang Tsung forevermore has the image of Karihiro Katagawa. I mean, why muck with it? You have
why even bother?
I think it was DLC in Mortal Kombat 11, and you got to play an entire story arc as Shang Tsung, and it was tremendous.
And we also lost Steve Cropper of
music fame, and most well known to us is a member of the Blues Brothers band. But of course, he's a huge musician throughout R&B and rock and roll, so he will also be missed as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
And what else we got here? We got Packet Protons, who says, "Why does the dude on the right in the Star Trek pic look like he has breasts?"
Yeah, that's a reference to the thumbnail picture, which we took from Star Trek Academy, which is coming soon. Maybe we'll get into that a little bit later, but we're not going to begin with Star Trek, so we'll get back to this one.
It's not Star Trek Academy. It's Starfleet OC.
You know what? Screw it. Let's get into it right away and be done with it. Because
Yeah, there
honestly,
we go.
it's not a very interesting topic anyway. So basically, yeah, we have like the first image for Star Trek Academy. It's one that looks like a 90s TV series of the youth in Beverly Hills. It's
I was gonna say we had that trailer. I thought
ridiculous.
We did have a trailer.
Trailer. But again, who cares? The fun thing here was the reactions to the image and to everything on X. Let's just say I didn't see a single one in the comments that actually liked this thing. And Tom, if you check the private chat, I put the link to the X post right there. We'll cover it right away. Be done with it. I mean, there were some hilarious responses. I didn't see a single person saying in the responses that they were actually looking forward to this, because this thing is basically it's Paramount or the people running Star Trek trying to push this as something exciting, and the responses are absolutely hilarious, with everyone hating this. Absolutely everyone. I didn't see a single positive response. No thanks. Nope. Star Trek 90210. Nope. Just feel free to scroll down further. I mean, these things are Rip is dead. Nope. Spock's sobbing, abject trash. Frack, no. I mean, it's getting ratioed like you have no idea. And of course, I can't blame them, because who is this for? An audience of 15 people?
I can't believe the Ellisons are putting this out. I can't believe they didn't just take the tax break on it.
Honestly,
I'll tell you why they're putting it out,
yeah.
because it's a contractual obligation.
Yeah,
That's why, yeah.
And not only that, what they're doing now. Here's the thing. This is what they're not doing, though. They're not defending the shit. You don't see anybody out there going, "You all are a bunch of racist, homophobic, whatever slurs," because you're not liking this shit, right?
Wait till they interview the cast.
yeah.
Do you think they even will?
Somebody
what I'm saying.
will.
Well,
Is this the gayest Star Trek ever?
Well, the
My
answer
guess
to
is it
that
might
is
just be-
yes.
my guess is it'll be dropped with very little fanfare. That's what I'm thinking is going to
I
happen.
love that meme.
This image here. Yeah, this is good.
Oh,
This is glorious. This is exactly what needs to happen. I would flush it all out the airlock. For those who are listening, we're looking at an AI created meme where you have all of the 5 original captains laughing, having a tea, Earl Grey hot, while all the figureheads of New Trek are in the airlock about to be flushed out.
And you know what? Keeping with the spirit of the show, Janeway is the one that is committing the war crime here.
that's
Well, I
right.
was going to say she's lucky she's not in there with him.
Oh,
Well,
So is Picard lucky he's not in there with him? Because then that means he might not be the robot
they
version.
should put the new Picard in there too. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they should have old man Picard in the background there too. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, they should, because
Now
that's
you
what-
guys saw the press photos or the promotional photos of the different characters. I dropped the so-called Klingon in the private chat too.
Yeah, Tom
Could
put,
not
put that
believe
up.
Klingon in a skirt. Come on.
Well, he's
What do
a
we do?
trans Klingon, isn't he? Maybe he's
Yeah.
a Romulan.
Male Klingon in a shirt.
Yeah.
And then
Well, maybe that started out as a female Romulan.
Maybe.
I was going to say
don't
we
know.
saw this a while back.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
not
yeah, yeah.
new.
Just a reminder.
Ridiculous.
It's helpful to
Yeah.
be reminded.
Yeah.
Well, and this is their excuses. Oh, we're just emulating the skirt thing that was only in what, a couple episodes of TNG till somebody goes, yeah, that's not working.
It's the world out. It's the space world outside your window, Tom.
Yeah. Yeah, it's what the world actually looks like. Remember,
Yes,
this is what
that's
the
right.
crazy people
Then I'm
will
selling
say.
my house. And I don't even own it.
When does that air? When does Starfleet OC air?
It's
Nobody
January
cares.
15th, I believe.
Okay.
It's around the same time when we will all be busy watching the Pendragon cycle from the Daily Wire.
That's right.
Are they actually going to release it week by week?
Pendragon cycle or Star Trek Academy?
I don't know, Marvin. That's a good question. If they're going to dump it all at once.
Oh, Academy, yeah.
It'd be funny if they dumped it all at once.
Yeah.
It
They'll
would be
probably
more
dump it
fun
in, like,
if they
2 lumps or
scrapped
something.
it, but probably, yeah, they'll dump it all at once and be done with. I mean, that's going to be a signal, right? If they
Mhm.
release it weekly,
It always is.
or if they just dump it. Hopefully, they dump the whole thing and get the ridicule done and over with, and then they start the salvage operation. I mean, they'll have more time on their hands if
Mm.
they don't get Warner,
What
which
did
we
Disney?
probably get into presently.
What did Disney do with that? They did that with Echo, where they just released
They
the
did
whole
it-
thing
they
at
did
once.
it with
They were like, get
Echo.
out of the way.
Yeah, they did it with Echo and with Ironheart. They released that in 2 brackets, and then they've also done some of the animated stuff that no one cares about. They've also released in one go, and then it's a matter of like Power Man or
Wonder
no
Man.
Wonder Man. What's
I
that
understand
coming
why
out?
you thought it
That's-
was Power Man because they did make him
That's
black.
this month.
Yeah, that should be coming now pretty soon, shouldn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Although no one cares, obviously, it's just going to damage the MCU even more.
So
and,
the
drive more
term
people away.
is burn through it.
Yeah.
That's the term. You're just burning through your stock. But
Yeah.
I'll give the poster, the Starfleet OC poster, credit for one thing. I think it's the final destination for Kurtzman Trek. It's actually the embodiment of what they've always wanted. It, to me, I don't like what it is, but it's also super clear. There's no ambiguity. I kind of give it credit for it being an unambiguous representation of what they wanted Star Trek to be. So for those people who want Starfleet OC or Star Trek OC, then the poster, I think, is the final destination.
Yeah.
I just wish they'd make a Star Trek Final Destination movie with all these cast members.
Speaking
I-
of Final
I-
Destination.
I'd
I
watch
would
that. I mean,
love that.
if anything, that would be a good way for Skydance to end this thing. Like, shoot, never mind. Do the rest. Scrap the rest of the series, but we'll do like a season finale, which is the final destination of Kurtzman Trek. Yeah, I'd watch that.
Everybody's dead.
I would pay money to go to a theatrical version with a big long title sequence and some starship with all the entire cast just within seconds impaling the vessel into a planet. It explodes. The end. Ending credits. You go home.
I would watch that.
Like the entire movie is 5 minutes long. That's
I
it.
felt-
You're
I-
just
I
going
began
through the
feeling
enjoyment
that.
of the-
Yeah, I love that. I began feeling that same way when the first trailer for Section 31 came out about a year ago. And you knew you saw the trajectory of this, right? This is not Star Trek. This is something.
Oh no.
bizarre.
No, but it's stopped being Star Trek even in the J.J. Abrams Star Trek. That wasn't Star Trek.
Agreed. Well, as soon as I heard Sabotage from the Beastie Boys in a Star Trek
Oh
movie,
gosh.
we were gone.
Well, Flying Blind on a Rocket Cycle says I'd pay good money to watch a load of manure get dumped on the thumbnail posers. I agree.
Somebody said in the chat that it's the Star Trek version of the Acolyte, and it definitely does give those vibes.
Well, it
And
does.
then
Yeah.
M. Miller
Too bad that
says,
they have to ride on the coattails of Star Trek because
Yeah.
call it something else,
Yeah.
like Star Kids,
Yeah,
and
there you go.
and then just do it the way they wanted to do it. I think the whole disingenuous part of this is that they did not have the ability or the guts to actually do this without coattailing or coat hangering it on.
I think it's more a matter of if they had done that, it wouldn't have mattered. Tom, help me out. What's the guy in Netflix? I always blank on his name. The guy who made sure that they didn't do Conan, who also destroyed He-Man and the Masters of the Universe there. I think because he made a great point of that. Because you will recall that in Masters of the Universe Revelation, the Netflix series, then King Grayskull, who basically looks exactly like He-Man, only a little bit more savage because it takes place in the distant past. He was race bent to become black, even though he's supposed to be Prince Adam's direct ancestor. He's black here. Now, why did they do that? Now, this guy, whose name escapes me, Ted something.
Sarandos.
No, not
Biacelli.
Sarandos. Thank you, Biacelli. Ted Biacelli. He even said explicitly, of course, we could have created an original black character that didn't exist before, but we didn't want to do that, because if we did that, then the people that needs that the most, they could ignore him. Whereas if we take this really important pivotal character and we make him black in your face, then there is no way that you can avoid it, lest you avoid this entire thing. I think that's part of the reason there. It's not that they don't have the courage to do this thing without putting the Star Trek moniker. The whole reason is now we have the Star Trek moniker. Now we are going to use it to force our message in your face because it's Star Trek. Because if we did it somewhere else, you could just ignore it. You can't ignore it when it's Star Trek. That's the whole game.
They wear the skin suit of the
Yes.
IP that that is beloved with their new way of doing things. So
Yeah.
you're right. You're absolutely right, Paul. It's just a shame, but think about it. It would be, what was that movie, that Kurt Russell movie about the superhero high school or whatever?
Sky High.
Sky.
Which
High.
was incidentally directed by Jonathan Frakes, I believe.
I love that movie.
I like that. That was
That
fun.
movie is so good.
And why couldn't they do that with this?
That's what they should have done.
Everything has to. It's not enough to just make new IPs to inject all of their political crap into it. They have to take something that already existed and pervert it and twist it and appropriate it to belong to somebody else. Because it's not just about having something for yourself. It's about taking it away from somebody else who already loves it.
Exactly. It's not that they want it to, it's that they want you to no longer have it.
Yep. It's ours now.
Right.
Yes.
The whole idea is not that they're trying to be inclusive. It's they're just putting the stuff in there to piss off the right people more so. And the way they're doing it is obnoxious.
Yeah. Remember, inclusion is exclusion. You have to think in 1984 terms here. The more inclusive something is, that means the more excluded you are as the built-in audience.
Yeah.
So let's move on here. Miller said for 14 South.
Well, I just wanted to
Africa.
say something real quick about
Yeah,
this
go for
because part of what they're doing is somewhat working, right? Because I ran into somebody the other day that found out I did stuff for YouTube here, and they actually heard of Doomcock, and they actually used to watch Doomcock.
Mm.
And I'm like, oh, so you might actually have heard me at a time or two before, and they're like, oh, maybe. And I'm like, so what did you think? So because they said they used to listen to Doomcock, so I'm like, so why'd you stop listening to Doomcock? And their reasoning was he got too anti-trans. So like it's not like that they're it's this stuff doesn't go both ways, right? Like
Yeah.
what they're saying does affect what other people think, and I'm sitting here going, well, I don't think Doomcock is himself personally that way. I think, but he does have a point that the way they're doing it, and that was kind of what I was saying. It's not so much that anybody cares if there was a trans character or a lesbian character or a gay character or whatever in Star Trek. It's the way they're being presented and the way they're being, shoved down our throats. And not only that, I even pointed out, like with the Star Trek thing, I'm like, did you not notice how they segregated the gays? Like the gays lived in their own little area away from the rest of the ship. And they never really interacted with anybody else. And they're like, I never really thought of it that way. But like, yeah, it's just the point is like this whole thing has just gotten to a point where like, it's not so much that we care that there's characters that are diverse. It's how the diversity is being shoved down people's throats. And Andre, we can see whatever you're doing on your screen. I don't know what the hell happened there, but like we can see your screen through your cam. But anyhow,
He's
that's
playing,
strange.
He's
I've never
playing,
seen that.
What's that?
Galaga.
Windows
Didn't think we'd
game,
notice, but we did.
Not Minecraft. What's the Windows game that people play?
Oh, I
during
know the one you're
business?
talking about.
Mind.
Not Mind Shift either, something along those lines. Yeah.
It was,
You.
It was pernicious. What was it?
I can't remember the name of it. Minesweep.
Minesweeper.
Minesweeper. Yeah.
Now we can't hear Andre. We can see him, but Miller says there's more enthusiasm for an AIDS diagnosis than Academy. He's probably not wrong.
At least then you get a quilt.
Yeah, that's true.
Maybe you're
And then,
again now.
Now we can hear you.
Okay, good. Yeah, something weird happened there.
Yeah, that was wackadoo.
Yeah.
Somebody's hacking your shit. So let's keep moving on here because we're gonna get into the Warner Brothers stuff, and a lot of the super chats have to do with that. So we're gonna keep moving on that. But Dark Knight says another reason why they inject their politics into existing IP is that Hollywood writers can only do fanfic. The second story was good vid on this.
Yeah,
Or
it's,
has a
what
good
is
vid on
what
this.
is what is that that line from Tolkien? Evil cannot create anything new. It
Yeah.
can only pervert what good has created, or something along those lines.
And then Soul Nightmare says it's like the Valerians in House of Dragon, making them black is not only ends up the Targaryen family tree, but destroys why Adam can claim a dragon. There you go. And then Soul Nightmare also says rip Johnny Tsunami. There you go.
I will say for House of the Dragon, it was kind of funny that they when they made the Valerians black, it gave like the entire new level to when Rhaenyra has her kids and they come out white, and everyone's like, "Come on, that's not your husband's kid." Like, it brought a new level to that I thought was funny.
And then Soul Nightmare says the Luigi thing is a joke. But seriously, what the fuck? I don't get this. What do you mean the Luigi thing?
I hope you're talking about the Mario character and not the murderer.
I was gonna say, what are you going on about? Yeah, I was gonna say, I know I heard that if you're talking about the murder, isn't that the guy that shot the
healthcare
CEO
guy, yeah.
or whatever? Yeah, and they're like not admitting some evidence, but at this point, what difference does it make? Because didn't they catch the whole thing on camera anyway?
I don't know. He's seen as a hero by a lot of people, which is
Well, that I know, but it doesn't matter. Murder's murder, man. What are you gonna do? And then the Mum One has been here for 13 months. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. And then Packing Protons, here we get into the Warner Brothers stuff. So Packing Proton says, as for Warner Brothers, well, fuck. The last one I wanted to get it, rip DC. How did that happen? Well, I wouldn't say rip DC yet. We don't know what's going to necessarily go down. And the contracts.
Oh, yes, we do, Tom. We know exactly what's going to happen.
Trust me, Cosmic Bro.
We know exactly what's going to happen. The guy that they just fired from 3 different franchises is going to be handed DC.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. This is like the worst thing that could have happened for the Snyder Bros, actually.
Yeah.
We'll get into that shortly here as we get through the rest of these. Miller says, I don't think Ellison is having a particularly good week, being as he started this. Warner doubts will GI via regulators and Secret Hideout. What the fuck did they do? Now we already talked about the Secret Hideout thing. Now, as far as Ellison and Warner Brothers, did you guys see the little fucking conniption fit he was throwing?
He threw a rich boy didn't get what he wanted hissy fit yesterday.
I want to see that video where you got Ellison going. Yeah.
He basically said in an open letter that it was unfair. They were favoriting Netflix the entire time, and that there was like personal reasons as to why the board members were going with Netflix. And I'm like, well, Netflix also offered a lot more money than you did.
Well, that's the thing, because and kudos to Tom, because Tom, you said the whole time, and I agree with you, and so there was not much disagreement here, that this thing wasn't going to happen until the offer reached 80 billion. And that's essentially where we are right now.
Mm-hmm.
If Ellison wanted it, he needed to get up to 80 billion. And Netflix were willing to go there, and that is why they, right now, for the moment, have the exclusive right to move forward. But Marvin, you have more details about, about that here.
Yeah, so all the trades this morning were reporting that Netflix had won the bidding war with Paramount and with Comcast, and that they were entering into an exclusive bidding period. But that Park Place received an internal communication that went out to every Warner Brothers Discovery employee this morning from David Zaslav that says, we have accepted Netflix's offer pending regulatory approval. So this is a done deal.
Yeah, Netflix made an official announcement too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tom, the link for that is in the private chat. If you can bring that up on screen.
And not only that, they also instructed their employees on what they can and cannot do legally. Because they know this is going to be under the regulatory microscope. It is a post Disney Fox world, because when I said on Twitter, I responded to Grums and I said this is never going to happen because regulators are going to destroy this, and everybody was like, "Oh, Disney and Fox," and I'm like, "Yeah, but they learned a lesson from that." I'm pretty sure federal regulators have openly admitted that approving the Disney Fox deal was a major mistake.
Well, the problem we have here, and this is what Script Doctor and I were talking about last night, and I kind of have to toot my own horn a little bit because we were going through this last night with Ellison's little fucking pissing match letter or whatever you want to call it, where I'm like, I'm glad Ellison's, able to express himself, but at the end of the day, I have yet to have anybody tell me one good fucking reason why, and regardless of whether I want it or not, because it's the last thing I wanted is this to happen. But I have yet to have one person tell me one good reason why Netflix should not be allowed by the FTC to buy Warner Brothers. And nobody can really come up with anything. I have yet to see one good
I'll
reason.
give you a good one.
Oh,
because
hold on
they'll be over
though.
that 30% streaming threshold. Monopoly.
Maybe, but
it's all about the streaming. But go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, but at that point, you just shut down HBO Max, right? So that's not even a problem.
James Cameron thinks this is the worst idea ever. He preferred the Paramount.
Everybody.
I'm not disagreeing on that, but at the end of the day, they're all bad news. This should have never happened to begin with. And if that's the only thing that's going to stop them, that's more of a, like at this point, because Netflix can go, well, Amazon owns MGM. Why is it we can't buy Warner Brothers? Right. Netflix is not considered a Hollywood studio. So this has nothing to do with and this is what I was trying to say last night, is this is not even really technically comparable to when Fox was bought by Disney, because that was another movie studio, Hollywood movie studio, theatrical distribution studio, buying another one, right? Mm-hmm. This is Netflix buying a bunch of companies they don't own anything in, other than HBO Max is the only thing that's the same. And that can just be merged or spun off or whatever.
I have the perfect comparison.
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
This is AT&T buying Warner.
Warner Brothers all over again. Yep.
Yeah, it is.
Yes. That's what it is. That's exactly what this is. Yeah. I will actually say that the thing that may prevent this actually is the best thing possible, because people who inject that no, like now you certainly have Netflix and HBO Max on the same hands, and Discovery in the same hands as well. So now you just shut down Discovery and you shut down HBO Max, and you roll it all into Netflix unless Discovery stands aside. That's a very good possibility. That
basically you pull an HBO all over again.
Yeah, exactly. I happen to believe
Discovery.
Yes. Discovery probably will be separate. Probably it's just going to be Warner changing hands from Discovery to Netflix, Discovery being as it is. But anyway, so fine. Then everything that is under Warner, so HBO Max, is essentially going to be rolled into Netflix, which means it's going to be shut down. I happen to believe that this actually is a good thing, and there should be more of it. I don't think that competition in the realm of streaming is a good thing at all, because I don't see that as a monopoly. I see it as a format. As long as you have different streamers, you don't have competition. You have a never-ending format war.
I agree with you on that respect, but the other side of this now is we have a problem where Netflix has zero desire to continue Warner Brothers on as it was, right? They, like I said, one of the first thing they've expressed now is that they need to shorten this theatrical window. Well, what that means is you've just taken the biggest player on the block that wasn't Disney and just wiped them off the board. Yeah. So now Disney is the only fucking game in town. That's about it, because Sony, Paramount, Universal, none of them are really big enough to compete with Disney. The only one close is Universal, right? And even they're just kind of like chilling, doing their own thing.
Which also, by the way, are owned by Comcast.
Right. I mean, and yes, they have Mario and certain other things, but that's a license deal, right? Yes, the only thing that Universal has on their own is the Illumination characters and a few other things like that, and a few other franchises, but nothing nearly to the size that Warner. Like, this is the thing you guys got to understand now. Netflix will now own DC. They will own the Looney Tunes. They will own the Hanna-Barbera collection. They will own the old MGM collection. They will own all the Warner Brothers films. They will own all the New Line Cinema films. They will own a buttload of the Canon films. There's see, Warner Brothers owns a shit ton of stuff. Let's not even get into the music part of this. Get ready for Netflix music, kids, because this is what's going to happen. Because now
They're going to compete with Spotify.
I got an even worse scenario. Netflix is now going to own all these IPs from Bugs Bunny to Superman to Batman, and the AI content generated slop is coming, and it's
That's what
coming
I'm trying
hard.
to say.
Yeah,
They didn't want Warner Brothers because they're getting into the theatrical game. They don't
No.
give a fuck about the theatrical game. They want all those
I hate
IPs.
the theatrical game.
They want all those IPs. That's what they want.
That's
So-
exactly right. And
so
you're
now-
right. He said the traditional Sarandos has said the 45-day window is completely out of step with the consumer experience.
So the other big thing that was in this internal memo that went out to the employees, you see in the headline there, the Discovery Global split is still happening. So that was another big confirmation that not only
So Andre's right. They're going to spin off Discovery
Yep.
on its own. Keep
Yep.
that as the HBO Max stuff on.
Yep.
Is going to just spin off on its own to
I
Netflix.
believe that Discovery Plus is going to be a part of Discovery Global. I think that I think it's going to be like Hulu and Disney Plus, where HBO Max is going to be a tab on Netflix now.
Why? Shut it down. Shut it down completely. DC is going to be a tab on Netflix.
Yeah, I mean
Why on
that's also
earth?
They
possible.
might have to. They might have to just because I see.
Just for a limited time. Yeah, of course. I mean, this is the way it always goes.
it's
with
Plus,
these
the
things, right?
Hulu tab is not long for this world on Disney
Yeah.
Plus. Within the next
Exactly,
year,
that's what I mean.
that's going
It's a
away,
te-
and the Hulu stuff will just be Disney stuff. So I think you're going to
Exactly.
see the same kind of process here.
Yeah,
50,
it's a
50 years
temporary
of
thing.
HBO's longevity. They lasted 50 years. I think that was the first time they made original content was in 75.
But like, you know what? Like we're all talking about Bugs Bunny and DC, but now the other things to remember: they now have Harry Potter. They now have Lord of
Yes.
the Rings.
Well, let's be clear. They have the license.
Yeah.
For those. See, that's the thing that I keep reminding people, like especially when they talk about like Fox, when Fox was bought by Disney, it's like, yeah, well, the only thing Fox really had was Alien and Predator.
Netflix now has Game of Thrones.
The rights too, yes.
Yeah. You know, it's there's so much that they have now that
They own Freddy Krueger now. Let's put it that way.
They have
much.
their own
Outside-
game. They'll have their own gaming division because WB Games is a thing. They own Mortal Kombat now.
Yeah, they own Mortal Kombat now. That's for sure. But yeah, all the Hanna-Barbera, all the Cartoon Network stuff, all the, and not only that, they own a shit ton of television. See, that's what
Warner
people don't
Brothers had
realize.
Hanna-Barbera?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
They bought them out. What was it in the mid '90s? That's when Boomerang started. Yeah, that's where Boomerang kicked off all the Cartoon Network stuff.
Then here's an interesting wrinkle, though. Warner Brothers is also now negotiating openly with Comcast for the theme park rights to DC.
Well, see, and this is where I was curious where the whole thing was going to go, because Warner Brothers did have a working relationship with Universal already. Like they have a pretty close kind of.
That's how the Harry Potter stuff happened. Yeah.
Well, and they also do their video stuff together, because even their website Groove, GRUV. I mean, I've even seen some people in the home video sphere of YouTube not even know what Groove is. Like, how do you not know what Groove is? Groove is Universal and Warner Brothers co-production where they just flat out distribute their stuff directly to customers. Like, yeah, so they've had a lot of things where they've worked together over the years. So I'm kind of surprised they didn't come up with a better deal. Because, even what's his face from Comcast said he was confident that a Warner Brothers sale would happen at some point.
Yeah. I mean, I agree with what you had said previously, Tom, that Zaslav came into this situation with the intention of flipping this. This was essentially a glorified real estate flip. When Discovery.
Well, that was more
purchased-
Andre, but I said as he got along, he
Both
started
of
to
you.
realize he likes
being
a
Hollywood
CEO.
mogul. Yeah.
Yeah.
But
So,
now,
but
the
if
one
they
thing,
do spin-
one thing that was not said in any of this is whether or not Zaslav continues on with Warner Brothers once it's acquired by Netflix. That was
Well, if Discovery's spinning off, I wonder if he's just going to stay with Discovery.
Yeah,
See, that's the
no,
thing.
they named
Yeah.
who the CEO is of that. It's in the article. I don't remember off the top of my head, but his name starts with a G. I don't. Yeah. It is going to be. Where is it?
Well, Paul has been really quiet on this, and somebody, especially who hasn't spoke on the So we haven't said much about the television side of this. And you know that Warner Brothers has a shit ton of television properties, like bigger than probably anybody else.
Well,
So how do you think this is going to affect television
Okay.
going forward too? Because we
real
haven't even
quick-
discussed that.
Real quick,
Oh,
Gunnar,
okay. Go
Gunnar
ahead, Marvin.
Weidenfeld is the CEO of Discovery
Okay.
Global. Sorry, Paul.
But yeah, so
I-
how do you think this is going to affect television? Yeah.
well, so first of all, I just want to say that, hold on. Coffee bean grinding in the background. I just want to say, giving Ted some props here. He did start his career in the early 1980s as a clerk at the Arizona Video Cassette West store. I just want to say that the man has a vast amount of experience. He was a clerk at the Arizona Valley Video Cassette West.
So he has
store.
as much experience as Tarantino. You are correct on that.
Is that what he did?
Well, that's where his supposed
Love of movies. Anyway, so that's all kidding aside. So yeah, he's got that horrible position on movies in theaters. But that is Netflix. That's been Netflix's view for a long time, that they are the new distribution channel for creativity. There's a couple things. Number one is, Hollywood still has that lure of fruit baskets and limos, and whether, the Warner Brothers experience might temper Netflix. Although Netflix is a big player, I don't think that they're going to necessarily succumb to the magic and allure of Hollywood's past. They are interested in TV. We know that they've been resurrecting sitcoms like they went the 90s show became the 70s show. They've been funding the 90s show. It's into its second season. So they're not against that. My mantra is that I think the key to the survival of entertainment in general is to get back and give us full seasons of TV-like experiences. Stop with these 10 shows per year, 10 episodes every 5 years. This has got to end. And then once you've got this sustainable business, creative business, where people have to come in every day, clock in, hit the button, make stuff, and then take a small break every single year, I think that is the key to the survival of the entertainment industry, and especially in the United States, because they do that really well. And Netflix loves stripping in shows like whatever that legal show was with Megan, Suits. They love that. Now, if they are the people who can do that themselves and use Warner's experience to do that, I think that's a good thing. Whether that's on their radar, I don't know. I do know that the 90s, the show that they did, whatever the 90s Resurrection, was a pretty terrible, a terrible job. I didn't like the new Frasier, but that's on Paramount, right?
Yeah.
I was going to say, I think this has got to be a bad thing for television, because, what Netflix does is, if they're lucky to get past 3 seasons of 10 episodes each. So it means most shows end after like 30 episodes.
Yeah.
No, I know it. That's bad.
Wouldn't the first thing they would do just make these shows, this content, Big Bang Theory, Friends, Seinfeld, Game of Thrones, Oz, True Detective, all this stuff just available on Netflix? To me, that's just the
Theoretically,
obvious.
yes.
But that's what they want.
Yeah.
But the
Lots
other
of-
side of it is too, is what Paul's saying, and that is what they're going to exploit down the road, right? Like, so you brought up Big Bang Theory.
Yeah.
Well, there already is another Big Bang Theory spinoff in the works. So get ready for even more, because you want the Penny show from when Penny was growing up, and you want the rest of the gang when they were growing up. So yeah, young Sheldon work. Why not the rest of them?
And then they got Georgie and Mandy's First Marriage. They're doing the Stewart Show for the comic book store. They're doing all these Big Bang Theory spinoffs.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. It's just going to be more of the same garbage. Like, this is the worst thing that could have happened. And I know a lot of people are like, some people are cheering in some way. It's like, I get it. Some people want Hollywood to die, but it's like, at the cost of what?
I don't want movie theaters to die. Like that's like that.
That's what I'm saying. Is like people. I don't think people realize what they're cheering on here.
Yeah,
Well, for-
AMC stock is not doing well today, I assure you.
And for him to for Netflix to now come out and say, for Ted Sarandos to say that the the release windows are going to become more consumer friendly. What exactly does that mean? It means you're going to have movies out for 2 weeks before they go right onto Netflix.
Pretty much, that's what
Yeah.
it means.
We're already in a position.
Or they're gonna release at the same time.
Yeah, and see, we're already in in the theaters are not going to go for that. See, we're
I
already in
have
a
an
posi-
idea.
Go ahead.
I think there's a conspiracy going on, or I'm going to start it here, is that I think Netflix, in concert with Bed Bath and Beyond, want to take over the spaces in the malls that the theaters occupy. And they're all going to be Bed Baths and Beyond stores. That's my theory.
I hope it's true.
I know you're half kidding, but at the same time, you're possibly not wrong with between some of the Netflix stores where they might take over some theaters. But again, the thing is
they can sell all their used DVDs there too.
Right, well, they already got rid of all those.
Well, hold on, Tom, I have a question.
Yeah.
What if Netflix succeeds and kills all theaters? Like, what if theaters are completely gone and we are only going to get to see movies on services like Netflix?
We're never gonna.
Could you imagine that kind of future, though?
No, I can, but I don't want to, because it's basically where we're at now with music and books. It's just going to make
IMAX.
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to make movies even more separated than they already are. You know, I've run into so many people in the last few years where getting to know what their music taste is. I can't have a common conversation anymore with anybody, except for like you can maybe find a few things that you can have some common ground with, like Prince, the Eagles, Michael Jackson, the Beatles, something like that. But I should be able to talk about, you know, some modern music that, or something that's modern with somebody and have some kind of common grounds in some way. We can't do that anymore. Right. And that's a big problem, I think, in society. Now, movies are going to become the same way. Right. At least this last weekend, you could probably stand in the line at the grocery store, see somebody with kids and be like, oh, did you see the new Zootopia movie this weekend? And they'll be like, oh, yeah, the kids drag us. And you could actually have that conversation. Imagine in 5 years from now, we're not going to be able to have that conversation unless it's something like Stranger Things, where you know for a fact that everybody's watching. And even Stranger Things is not something that's on some global level. So you got, what, 20 million people watching Stranger Things, I think, at the most?
But
Whoop-de-fucking-do.
If you extrapolate logical economics, theaters are dead.
Technically, you're not wrong, but they can come back. There's ways that they can be reinvented. And I was thinking of this yesterday when I went to see Kill Bill at the older theater instead of a newer one where they actually keep up with renovation. That's the big part of it, first of all, is theaters need to start keeping up with the times. See, because when I'm going to a theater that hasn't been renovated in 20, 25 years, that's a problem, right? So, and I get that. But the studios also need to get on board with this. Is what we were talking about yesterday, the last show, with innovation and stuff with Avatar and stuff like that. This is the opposite direction. We are going to be just so split up with everything because I just don't get this.
But the multiplexes are going to kill themselves because they're no longer relevant. At one point, the multiplexes made sense. They no longer make economic sense because they're not making enough interesting movies to fill all the different slots, that, if we want to call it slots. And just so you know, multiplexes are a Canadian invention.
I figured you guys would come up with something like that. But no, like they will last, but they won't be showing movies as much anymore. It'll just be like Taylor Swift type shit and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah. No, I think we need to really reevaluate and be honest about the world economics. Kids can't even can afford a house anymore. Are we going to be able to afford all these theaters that are not generating enough money to survive?
Yeah.
Well, that's true too. And here's another man who may have something to say about all this, Paulie.
Good morning.
Hey.
I'm curious how actors are reacting to all this.
Oh, I mean,
because there was a letter that came out yesterday that they were not. There was a bunch of people inside Hollywood that would not be cool with this.
I think this further divides the creative and the corporate studios, right?
Mhm.
Because you had been hearing like from, and it's revved up now more is from actors to directors, just putting down AI. Hell, James Cameron hasn't kill AI speech in front of Avatar. So now it's 4 hours long. But hey, how you doing? How you doing, Marvin Montanero? Hey, but yeah, so this is gonna further. It's gonna be very interesting. And let's do it. Let's do a quick prayer and shout out. You guys mentioned the new Sheldon spinoff. One of my favorite persons is for something. Just saying.
Oh, really?
That's
Just saying.
exciting.
Just saying.
Well,
And I
But
also have to say that those spin-offs have been tremendously good. I mean, Young Sheldon is a fantastic
I
series,
love Young Sheldon.
and so is Georgie and Manny's First
Yep.
Marriage. And
I like Georgie. I thought it was interesting to put it back with a laugh track as a traditional sitcom, but it works. At first, it was a little jarring, but once that show found its footing, it really works.
So kudos to Chato. That's return to network TV. But anyway, Polly, that was a sidetrack.
well, this isn't
Sorry
even
about
making
that.
local news. This is crazy. I'm just seeing this on my local news. Like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
But anyway, Polly, you were saying.
Yeah, no, it's a good question because it's such an alien prospect to begin with, as far as what an actor signs and what the deal is, and then all of a sudden they've signed their image and their voice away, and maybe didn't get the deal that they wanted, like some of the bigger actors. But I've nudged a couple of Zaslav underlings that I know, and I'm really waiting to hear back from them, because you talk about local hire, you talk about locally. I mean, what does this also mean for the actual studios complexes? Because that's the one thing that Netflix never didn't have here in town. So there's two Warner Brother Farm studios, and that's going to be very interesting. One that's very located right next, really closely to the Netflix headquarters in Hollywood, and then the one in Burbank, which is more of the farm. It's got the outdoor backlot and stuff. But I was just thinking that from all the physical hires, what does it mean? But like Tom was asking, it's like you're already having a problem with this whole idea of creative work becoming more of a content driven thing, which is like, that's Netflix. They got the 15 years of algorithms. What they didn't have was the library that Warner Brothers has. Yeah, it's gonna. I mean, it's definitely interesting, man.
Ollie?
Yes, sir.
So I have another concern, and that is gatekeeping, and whether the gatekeepers we now will have fewer of them. One of the fun things about Hollywood back when I was there in the 90s is that even though it was difficult, you went out to enough restaurants and meals and things like that, you eventually end up talking with enough people that know someone that knows someone. And you can kind of get access in a weird way to get your stuff seen or heard or pitched. Netflix has become very impenetrable. You need to get either you're a famous individual or you have to get a Netflix approved agent to even be allowed past their first round of defense. I'm really concerned about that there's not a lot of serendipity in terms of meeting someone to be able to get in to see the person that you want to see. When I interviewed for Paramount, actually, for a VP position back in the 90s. And I just don't see that. That to me is something nobody is talking about, is the impenetrable gatekeeping that Netflix now provides. Now that's going to be applied to Warner Brothers, and it's just one more place where you just won't have a whole hell of starting any kind of career. I'm afraid of that.
Yes and no. It's kind of a phone call away. I mean, again, I think it's who you know, and you go to someone's bar mitzvah, someone's birthday party, and next thing you know, you're rubbing elbows and chatting with the people that greenlit Mel Gibson coming back. I was like, what? And that's all relationships. That'll never
Yep.
die. You know that Hollywood's about relationships. And I actually think it's easier for people like you to once you have those relationships to keep them going, just because we're so used to Zoom and everything. Even collaborating you and script the way you collaborate. Tom Conkle just sent me his new short film. I mean, we're living in a new age, and they're hip to that. But there is nothing like that one-on-one personal thing, and that's the thing that's been gone for the last few years because of the lockdown. Studios
True.
saw a way to save money from casting. It's like, oh, good, we don't got to hire a casting company. We don't have to hire we don't have to. That's one less building, where where all the bills are on, where all the lights are on. Shut it down. Let's do everything through Zoom, which that's the challenging part. And I'm just talking for the actors that are just trying to audition for roles, not the stars, where they're always like, get me in that room with Chato and I will make him believe. And that, like, you don't have that anymore at all.
Right. Right.
You have the relationship. So if the casting director or the executive producer already knows, oh yeah, Chato will be great as a Muslim number 3, breaking down doors.
I'm
Hire
there.
Chato. But no, it's a relationship business on a lot of different levels. So they gotta, and that still is strong. I'm still seeing that in the little that I physically hobnob with these guys. It's really a trip, and I actually want more of that for Romy, because she's so old school. She's just like, I got a manager, I got an agent, let them handle all that. So it's like, no, you have to do more now. Mhm.
You have to have an Instagram cooking channel.
I mean, it's really strange that they judge, as far as following, as far as okay, well, we know this person is the person that deserves the role,
Mhm.
but what's their following? And we got this other person that's not really good, but fuck, man, they got 1 million followers. Boom.
I will say that I did have a section of my career when it came to commercial auditions, where one director
Mhm.
really glommed on to what I provided from a comedy point of view. And he's a multi-million-dollar commercial director in the time. And whenever he was hired by any of the Fortune 500s in Canada to direct videos, he would go through the casting. If he didn't like anyone that he saw, I'd get a phone call. Paul, you're required to be on the set. Like, it wasn't even a discussion. He would tell the client, I'm bringing Paul on board. That was it. Done. It was a glorious time in my life where
that's a lot of fun, man. That's a lot of fun.
It's a great moment where you just get the job because the director loves you.
Yeah. I mean, that's always, your because your reputation precedes you, and it's the businesses, the majority, guys, is it's on your rep. That's why, we were just talking about that last night. We were watching Primal Fear. It's like, fuck, Edward Norton's one of the greatest actors for a generation. And Romy's like, yeah, but he's an asshole to work with. So they stopped working with him. Imagine, like, it's like you can only take so much, even Holly weirdos.
Nathan Fillion was talking about that on his podcast, saying it's really important that you treat people well.
And see, this is why Tom and Andre and Midnight's Edge, or and then the other ones, that's what's different, that you guys have entered the game. You guys are in there. They watch you guys, right? And so then you'll see that interaction. And it's like, Tom Cruise is like, well, I follow you. I watch your podcast. That is new. And that is part of the game now. That is part of the game. I can't tell you, man, because we're now dealing more than ever with from press people to they just come straight to Andre, straight to Tom, and if they want to do it, or even if they're leaking something, Anyways, you guys know what I mean.
Indeed, yeah.
Yep.
Good point.
I'm
I
always
mean-
leaking.
Hi-oh.
Yeah, different kind of leak, but yeah. But yeah, no, this obviously is changing things quite drastically. Chris, we haven't heard you weigh in significantly on this. Do you think that this even can happen though? Because so far we have spoken about, we just assume that this is going to happen. We've spoken a little bit about the regulatory hurdles, but do you think that this actually can go through Department of Justice control? Because with the Trump administration, certainly there are those that seem to believe, like Cosmic Book News, that Trump is going to stop this.
Yeah.
Trump is going to stop this so
Yeah.
that Ellison and Saudi Arabia can get Warner after all, and Snyder can get the DC universe back. Is the argumentation that follows there. Ignoring that latter part of it, the first thing, Trump is going to stop this to give it to his buddy Ellison, because they have a
I think
relationship.
he will. I think there's going to be some pushback that was not there for the previous mergers and buyouts that we've seen before. The only reason I think that is because Trump was or came out with some supportive signals towards the Paramount purchase.
But at the same time, Trump can say a lot of things. It's not up to him.
No, I'm not saying.
No, I know, but I think that's what a lot of
there will
people
be
like
push- I
Cosmic
think there will
Trust Me
be-
Bro don't understand, right? Like you can say this all day long,
Yep.
but at
But I
the end of
still
the day, it's
think
up to the
that Trump-
FTC,
I
not
think
Trump.
the
Yeah.
FTC is going to scrutinize this more than they did of the Disney Fox.
And they may, and I'm not saying they won't, but at the same time, and this is what I was asking Script Doctor, and in kind of a open-ended question of like, somebody please tell me where this steps into any kind of regulatory issue comparatively to where Paramount or Universal or anybody else, had they tried to buy Warner Brothers, they would have had a laundry list of things to deal with. Netflix, at most, I think you could argue that you could have the monopoly of the streaming services, but at the same time, is it really even 30% of the streaming services now when we have 500 fucking streaming services?
Netflix is a big dog. It could put them over that 30%.
It may, but at the same time, does that mean that they just can't buy HBO Max? Right? Like that might be the only thing that gets in the way.
I wanted to weigh on this Trump
Please.
thing. I think, look, global governments don't give a flying fungool about the Snyderverse. So can we please stop talking about that for a second? I'd, however, think that Trump 100% is going to try to stop this because he liked what the Ellisons were saying they were going to do with CNN. That they were going to dismantle CNN and bring it back into the center. Trump liked that, and I think that was why Paramount would have been fast tracked. A lot of people were saying, I remember one government insider said Paramount would have a 6-month breeze to get this approved, whereas Netflix is going to get a proctology exam out of this.
Right.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, it's not just going to be a proctology exam; it's going to be a proctology exam that's so thorough. They won't stop until they see the backside of the teeth.
And normally you'd think that a global government,
We're
not only would they not
talking
care about the
Roto-Rooter.
Snyderverse, but they wouldn't care about like cable channels. No, but Trump 100% would care about the CNN thing. I think we could all agree on that.
Yeah, because you mentioned CNN with the Netflix deal. What's going on with that then?
It won't be Netflix doesn't get it. It's going to spin off into Discovery Global.
There you go. See, so that's But ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, live from Canadian Hollywood, it's Script Doctor.
The heck was that?
I don't know,
I loved
something.
it, but yeah, I just got out of a meeting. How's it going, everybody?
Oh, well, doing
Nothing's
good.
happening.
Excited
It's
to hear
another
about your
day.
meeting.
What's up, brother?
Hey, Paulie, good to see you, man. Well, I mean, I did tweet a little bit earlier this morning that the $82 billion deal was in the ballpark of what Tom and I were predicting the offer would be. I was listening a little bit earlier, and well, I will say this: if I don't know how or what's going to happen if this deal ends up going through. But if Trump wants Ellison to buy CNN, he can still do that. You know, it's not off the table just because it gets rolled out to Discovery. So he doesn't need the whole Warner Brothers studio if he wants to pull that off. But the other thing you also have to consider is that Ellison, newly appointed as head of Skydance Paramount, is untested.
Yeah. He's the devil you don't know, as I've been saying many, many times. There are so many who seems to think that he's so based and he's going to save Hollywood. There's no evidence to support that. He literally is the devil we don't know in absolutely every way.
Well, I think the hissy fit that he threw just kind of showed us what he was, a spoiled, rotten brat.
Mm-hmm.
Well, basically, he's an executive because he told his daddy, I want to be a mogul. And that's like, okay, fine, son, here's a studio. After you already got a shit ton of money.
But I want a bigger studio now, Daddy.
I think he's probably a lot like Veruca Salt in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
That was exactly what I was doing, yeah. I want a bigger studio now, Daddy. Paramount's not big enough.
Yeah.
Yep, it makes sense.
Well, maybe Ellison can cry and whine and buy Netflix.
Maybe. I mean, I guess that's your other move.
That would be a lot more than $80 billion.
Yeah.
Larry isn't losing out because most likely all of Netflix's streaming is going through Oracle databases.
That's
So
true.
let's be clear on this, though. This is why David threw a fit. He's like, it's not fair that Netflix can get more money than I can get together to buy this. And he knew damn well that going into this, that he was the one who sparked this whole thing to begin with, right? Like, so that's why he's playing, you know, sore loser here, because he's like, I started this game and now I lost. It's like, yeah, because somebody with a much bigger, fatter fucking checkbook came in, and don't get me wrong, I know Netflix has to take out a loan to do this, but it's the same thing that Ellison was doing. He was pulling in Saudi Arabian money, right? Let's be clear on this. This was all about $80 billion. I said that the other day. As long as somebody comes in with a $75 to $80 billion offer, then Zaslav is going to say done, because that's exactly what he needed to make this look like a very good fucking deal. Because even that is a low ball offer, if you ask me. And that just goes to show you the shape of what Hollywood is in right now. Because at the end of the day, Warner Brothers is worth at least 90 to 100 billion easy. But at this point, with the way things are going, this is the best deal they're going to get, and he has to take it, because otherwise it would be seen as a bad move for his shareholders and stuff like that. So that's why this is going to happen. Now, whether or not it all goes through, that's a big if at this point. But I'm still stretched, and this is what Script and I were talking about last night, and I brought it up too, is like still stretching to see where there's going to be any bigger issues than any other studio would have had. Because Netflix is technically not a film studio. They are a streamer. So it's like you said,
company streamer too.
Yeah, like Andre said, this is no different than when AT&T came in and bought up Warner Brothers to begin with.
Yep.
There was a also over at Bleeding Fool, Top of the Fold, Variety was reporting a couple of days ago, or maybe it was just yesterday, about that anonymous group of concerned feature film producers that sent an open letter to both houses of Congress about to look into and investigate this deal's antitrust implications. That, on top of, you already have outspoken creatives like Jim Cameron, who thinks this is the worst idea ever. I feel like that's going to add a lot of pressure, in spite of Trump not even relative in the mix, that there are filmmakers that just don't like Netflix that are going to put a lot of pressure on Congress to keep
I don't want this to happen either, but that was what my question was last night, is I'm still stretching to see where they're going to have
well,
any
I'm sure
real
they had some good
grounds.
arguments. We'll hear those arguments.
Yeah.
The only argument I can see is that it will destroy the movie theater industry.
Yeah, at which point though is it something that can be used though? Like, I mean,
Yeah, it's like
You
a
can't-
buggy whip manufacturer at this point, right?
well, it'd be like telling Ford they can't build more cars because it's going to kill the buggy industry.
Yep.
We may not like it, 'cause especially if you're a buggy maker, But guess what? That's called fucking progress, and we don't
Or-
like that. But yeah,
Another metaphor there, Tom, could be, it would be like telling Netflix you can't send out DVDs because it'll kill the blockbuster industry.
right.
Well, if you want to go to one that
That's a
really
good one,
happened,
yeah.
it's basically what happened with the stage theaters in New York. You can't make movies, you're going to kill the theatrical experience. And guess what? Now, it most likely within 10 to 15 years, cinema theaters are going to go the way of Broadway. They're going to be limited throughout
Right.
the world and country. They're going to be
That's-
boutique experiences and very expensive, and everything is going to be on your phone.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Entertainment.
there's a parallel to the quality versus convenience argument. They're not helping themselves by upping ticket prices. And, it reminds me of like, what is the extra value add for the community experience, for seeing it on the big screen with all the big audio and things like that? How much better is it than a lot of people's home theaters? Is it better enough to keep people out of?
Well, unfortunately, no.
Yeah, so that's the issue. I mean, I was at the very beginnings of desktop publishing, and we had, this won't mean much to most of you out there, but the difference between 300 dot per inch laser printed copy versus what was done from a typesetter, the difference was that I could instantly create this lousy 300 dot per inch newspaper or release versus sending something out to a Dressograph, Multigraph, have it photo typeset. It would take you a day, and then it would come back and it would be filled with errors, and I'd have to send it back again, and it'd be $25 for every column inch. And somehow they died because the 300 dot per inch was just good enough for most of the people, and they didn't really notice the difference. And so I'm seeing the same thing in the theaters now. They're overpricing themselves. It's not entertaining. The group experience is going to be restricted to, as Script Doctor said, a very circumspect number of theaters around the world. And we're going to be left with just a bunch of basically what are review cinemas and again, I could actually see something that gets popular on Netflix first, and then the audience going, hey, I actually want to see this on a large screen, but I'm going to pay $5 for it.
The
I
other
could
part,
see
too, the other
I
part
don't
too, you have
know.
to consider is that a lot of movies are not filmed for the big screen anymore. They're filmed
Right.
for your home theater or your television, which means you're not going to get a Lawrence of Arabia style viewing. And so, what's the point of the theater if we're not making movies that are for the theaters, the theater screen anymore? That's
Yeah,
that's
look
the
at
other
the number. Look at the number of theatrical experiences where the characters are almost dead center in the screen now. They're
Yeah.
no longer off to the extreme left or the extreme right, causing tension and
Well, and
excitement and the texture
there's a
of the film.
There's a few videos out now that are really starting to nail this, because we had kind of hit some of the surface level stuff, Paul, when we've discussed some of this before. But there's more than that. They're using too many wide angle lenses. There's other problems that they're introducing now that they never used to do with film. And that's why movies and TV shows are all looking the same, and they all look drab, and they all look dry, and they're all just very,
color
Right.
contrast is horrible too.
yeah. And it's because between the digital, the lenses they're using, the lighting they're using, the way they show the backgrounds, or in and out of focus compared to what film used to do, to where film had fall off and stuff like that, to where digital doesn't. There's all kinds of other, it just doesn't have the life that they used to have and that film had for many reasons. And it's not just because of film. You're not wrong there either when you've brought that up. It's because of the way they're shooting it and doing it. And when
Yeah,
you have
the
the
choice
same type of
lenses.
crews and equipment shooting TV shows and films, well, that's why everything looks the same. And you're not going to have any difference of feeling in it. Because it used to be, you'd watch a TV show, well, it was shot on either a lesser quality film or even video. If it was like a sitcom, in the 80s or 90s, they started just moving over to video. Well, then, digital came in, so then everything just was being shot on digital. And then again, you have different.
I'm concerned
ways
that the
of doing
theater
it. Yeah.
experience does not offer the value add.
Well, back to what I was saying before, and this is what I went to Kill Bill. Like, he had all these problems. They haven't been keeping up with anything. They haven't been fixing things up, and that's not, that's just part of the game, right? But also, studios haven't been innovating with the theaters, right? Like, the last innovation we've had was high frame rate. Nobody cares about that. And like you pointed out, most people
it's
don't even
worse.
really, most people don't even really care about the quality so much. And this is the other side of where, this is a bigger problem for home video. Home video is going to die because Warner Brothers is one of the few people that was still backing DVD and Blu-ray sales and stuff like that. Netflix ain't going to do that. They don't want anything to do with that. Now, they're going to be glad to keep they'll be glad to keep the company as far as creating movies and stuff like that. But that's just going to feed into what they're doing, right? They're not going to be worried about the home video side of things for sure. And that's the thing, is only certain people care about the quality, right? Because you're not wrong. Most of us can go home and watch a movie in higher quality at home than we can in the theater, right? So this is partially on theater's shoulders, where they should be coming up with other ways to get people into the theater and make it worthwhile. And Dolby Atmos and things like that are not going to help, right? All you're doing is just adding more to what we already had. You need to come up with something different and new. Sure, it's not going to be these 4D experiences either. They
It's interesting you say that.
Reason.
Yeah, I was just thinking that same thing, and then I saw Justine Bateman post this morning about like those same sentiments, and then she tagged CinemaCon, and I was just thinking about, man, it's going to be really interesting at CinemaCon in a few months, and we're covering that. But I'm just like, what are these theater chains thinking? What are they going to do, Tom? They're
going to have to come up with more exclusive content to start. And then they need to come up with innovations. Yeah.
I think you're going to start seeing what we're starting to see overseas with a lot of these theaters, where they're going to roll out even more premium experiences. Like I've seen, like in Thailand, they have like theaters where literally the entire theater has beds in it instead of seats.
Avatar, they're really jacking, messing up with that, the theatrical experience. And this might be, something to talk about is, when you have that intermission, it's just beneficial for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
The theater, that particular theater chain, that particular, and the audience, you get that break, and, and people are buying up some more stuff. And you think these movies that are longer than 2.5 hours would put that in there. Did you have an intermission on Kill Bill?
Yeah, 15 minutes.
Great.
I'm seeing it tonight, so
I bet.
I
mean, how
glad it
amazing
had
was
it.
that? How amazing was
Well,
that?
I was pissed because there was 45 minutes of fucking previews before the movie.
Oh shit.
That was what pissed me off.
commercials and previews, or just 45 minutes.
Well,
of previews
I came in late anyway, and I'm sitting here going, fuck, the movie was supposed to start over a half hour ago. Jesus Christ, I'm going to be here till 8 o'clock tonight. And it was a 1 o'clock showing. Because I'm like, this is a 4.5 hour fucking movie now. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? And it was literally 1:45 by the time the fucking movie started. Almost an hour past the original fucking start time.
I mean,
And then you got to go through the...
Yeah.
Okay,
It's
so
got
like,
an
yeah.
intermission,
So,
bro.
yeah, it's got an intermission, but the intermission is at least welcome because you're like, your fucking bladder is about to explode. And at least if you know the movies, you know exactly where the intermission's coming in.
Yep.
You know when the movie's coming near an end. So you're kind of like, okay, at least I know. Unlike a movie where you don't know, like The Batman, where I'm literally standing in the fucking hallway through the last hour of the fucking movie because I'm going, wait a minute, this movie logically ended. Why is it still going on? Like,
There's something there though, Andre. Right? There's something there though, right? Because the Indian cinema is they've mastered the intermission. It's almost a first ending, but to the bigger film, and you're gonna have another ending, right? But it's like you're not gonna miss anything. And here's our great little mid ending. Go to a potty break. Hollywood needs to do that. That'd actually be great for theaters.
They're not going to want to do that because they want to squeeze in as many showings as they can. But I agree, anything to make the experience better at this point, it has to feel like a cushy luxury experience, I think, in order to get people in.
okay, so on this note, though, I know we kind of broached this already, but there was, a post about this, or I mean, a statement about this. I hate to break the Snyder Bros hearts, but Netflix is planning on keeping things going up through 2029. So whatever they had slated and scheduled to release is still coming out through 2029. And guess what? That's past James Gunn's initial contract anyway. So sorry to break y'all's hearts.
They just fired Zack Snyder from like 3 different franchises. They're not going to now turn around and give him something he already failed at doing.
But
That's
that's
been
just
getting fired for the last 20 years.
You know,
now, according to them, though, they are going to keep Warner Brothers as a separate entity. We also touched on that. Not a separate entity, but like its own studio still going through 2029 at least. So they get another 4 years.
I don't think they ever get rid of Warner Brothers because Warner Brothers is such a legacy Hollywood name.
I don't think you're wrong. I think you're right. But at the same time, it's still dead, though, right? Ostensibly, it's the same as when New Line was bought by Warner Brothers and just soaked up into it as just another label.
Do you think we're going to start seeing like the Warner Brothers logo and underneath it, it's going to say a Netflix company?
Yes, that's the standard operating procedure for for new ownership of Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
Trying to explain any of this to the Snyder Bros is about like trying to communicate with the Amber Heard fangirls out there. I mean,
it's like trying to argue with wallpaper. Like,
that is interesting too.
It's pointless. Yeah.
They have to they have to believe in this because they've put their entire personalities into simping for this failed superhero universe. So to say that the Snyderverse is not going to come back is to say that they have failed. And the fact that they put out that ridiculous 4-hour black and white nonsense Justice League movie, it emboldened them and empowered them to think that if they just scream and cry and carry on, they could get what they want.
I think that this is so much bigger than what's going to happen with Zack Snyder's stuff. You know, I mean, it's just I
guarantee you no one in Netflix or Warner Brothers right now is talking about Zack.
That is the least. Nobody's standing around the water cooler going, are they going to bring the Snyderverse back? This is so far. That's like arguing if Rocky Road is still going to be available when Baskin Robbins gets bought out or something. It's even smaller than that. So,
well, Warner Brothers, Zack Snyder's been persona non grata at Warner Brothers for years.
Yes.
And then with his recent losing of very easy contracts at Netflix, like if Netflix is not going to back you, you're in trouble.
Yeah. I mean, it should be a obvious to them, but they're just not gonna.
I've been saying for years, Rebel Moon is the best thing that could have ever possibly happened to the film industry because it shattered the perception of Zack Snyder, the misunderstood auteur, who the evil studios were just ruining and sabotaging with all their interference. Because Netflix gave him a clear runway to do whatever he wanted, and he did, and nobody liked it.
Well, and we already know that a lot of the Hollywood studios hate
it was
the
horrible
fan bases that they have to deal with, right? But here's one thing that you don't even need me to tell you. Just about anybody can tell you that inside Warner Brothers, the Snyder Bros, they were so relentless and horrible that that is one of those things where they are seen as some of the worst fan groups in the entire world.
The one thing
some of the shit they did.
The one thing I miss about Ellison not getting it is that they can no longer combine Starfleet Academy with Rebel Moon.
Rebel Academy?
Rebel Moon Academy. Or I'm mooning you.
Do they own that Friend song? I'll be there for you. That could be the great for that new poster y'all have.
Anyway, so that's the one thing I'm sad about. But I have to say Rebel Moon is up there with the Acolyte, maybe even above it as the worst overblown trash.
No, I think Acolyte beats it with the with the lesbian witches.
No, Ahsoka beats it all.
Oh, you're right.
But here's the difference with Snyder and Hedlund. Snyder's he's just one decent movie away from working again. So he'll go away and he'll do something, and they'll hire.
I love
the lesbian thing with Tig Notaro.
It's gonna be the lesbian film. That's it.
But I say this script because he's real chummy with Gunn and Reeves. I mean, they're all bros.
He's got a great relationship with people.
Actors
love working with him, but producers don't like him because he dicks around on set. Like there was reports when he was doing Rebel Moon that he actually left the camera alone and then played basketball with himself for like 2 hours.
There you go.
Well,
Like no
here's
studio
what-
wants money being wasted like that.
well, let's get
That's
past the Zack Snyder James Gunn business because it's pretty obvious. James ain't going anywhere. Zach's not coming in. I mean, maybe there's still a chance for that animated thing I've heard about, but if Netflix takes one look at the numbers that Justice League actually did, they'll probably go, fuck that. Because the one thing the Snyder Bros don't want you to know is that over 60% of the audience checked the fuck out halfway through. That means over half the people that started watching it never finished it. Didn't finish watching
It wasn't even number one when it debuted on HBO Max. It lost to Godzilla versus Kong.
Yeah, it did. But anyhow, let's keep moving on here. We got some other stuff to discuss real quick. Some more super chats to bring it all up. Kalekioki says, literally the worst possible outcome happened, and I think I'm truly starting to understand the whole Zaslav hate train. If Warner Brothers was healthy, why'd they say, well, no, this is, I get where you're coming from, but the reason they were able to sell and the reason anybody wanted it right now is because Zaslav had brought it back from the brink of basically, I mean, Warner Brothers was in really rough shape.
Yes.
And I've been
It's done
saying
an
this for
amazing
years.
turnaround reaction. Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
there's been, the whole company's been spending money like nobody's business. It was way in debt and they had no direction whatsoever.
Zaslav turned it around. He made the company valuable. And if Ellison wasn't so greedy and he didn't propose to try and buy Warner Brothers, there would never be a bidding thing. Things would be going at Warner Brothers as normal. So this is not a Zaslav fault. This is Ellison started something that Zaslav was legally obliged to do by way of his company. And now we're in this position. So, you know, if you want to blame who destroyed Hollywood and who destroyed the entertainment industry, well, it's little Ellison.
I was gonna say the villain in this story is actually Ellison if you step back and look at it.
Yeah.
He really kind of is.
No, it's Trump. Oh, well, sorry.
That's
but you're
fake
right.
news. Don't listen to
news.
the Mexican.
Oh my God. Zaslav came in and did his job.
Yep.
That's
And he did it well.
and he did it really well. I mean,
He took the crown of
did.
Hollywood away from Disney. Like that was the whole goal. And
Within a
everything
few
was,
years.
now this will go under extensive scrutiny. There'll be, of course, lobbying groups to prevent Netflix from acquiring Warner Brothers. And then the other part too is like, even if it does happen where Netflix is told, yep, you cannot buy Warner Brothers. Well, by the time that happens, it'll be months, if not maybe a year out after the original bidding, in which case, Warner Brothers stays under its current ownership. And it doesn't say, oh, we'll just go back down to the next bidder. No, it'll be like, nope, either you start a new bidding process again, or you just leave us the hell alone and let us keep on operating the way we have been.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, all Zaslav was doing is kicking back and watching the stock go up to where it should be to begin with.
Yeah. And I'm going to be buying some of that soon.
I wish I had. I really wish I had. Soul Nightmare says, I hope this is part of Hollywood's plan to lure Netflix out in the open so Trump can destroy them. Otherwise, we need to let Luigi out for the day. So that must be who he's referring
Oh,
to.
No,
that's-
Luigi.
okay.
That's confirmation.
That's confirmation, yes.
Yep.
So he must have been talking about that, yeah.
So does Zaslav stay as an exec in
That's
this?
what I asked before, because that they have not stated.
That is unclear. Now, I think if they're
We don't
splitting it
know.
off and Discovery is staying Discovery and they're just selling off Warner Brothers and HBO Max, as it sounds like that's what's doing. Sounds like I'm thinking
Well,
Zaslav would just stay with Discovery.
No,
That's
because
what I'm thinking too.
they've already announced who the CEO of Discovery Global is. It's not, but they announced at the beginning when they announced the split that Zaslav was going to remain the CEO of Warner Brothers. And
Well, he
so
might stay on and just run Warner Brothers as a separate entity, kind of.
in
thing,
the
like I was
beginning when
saying.
all this started, the rumor was that no deals were even being considered unless they included Zaslav staying on.
Shit, I'd take that golden parachute and retire. My goodness.
He like Tom said, he likes being a
Yeah.
Hollywood mogul.
Well, that was the original plan. Yeah, was for him to come in and flip the house and then retire, move on. But I think between the resistance that he got, the way that, he got kind of like the idea of like, oh, I like this, kind of like the whole thing with Bob Iger and his 2 showers. He wouldn't go nowhere either, like Andre had pointed out. So
Like I
it
was
could just
telling-
be. Go ahead, Paulie.
No, I was just saying, Tom, like last week, in hanging out with some of his close employees, is that Zaslav is the deal maker. He comes into the room and he takes that center focus. That's the type of guy he is, and people like him. He gets, it's kind of undeniable. It's like, getting to, really know and see how Trump makes the sausage happen. You're just like, wow, as a people person. So
I'm not
like him or not.
This is not going to go well with with directors and actors though. They're going to have yet another person to hate. There's going to be a lot of people underneath there that are just going to be bitching even more because it's just more of the same problems added on top of each other.
It is, and yet it's like you dance with the devil. That brought you in that, like Guillermo, Ryan Johnson. They're all like bitching and complaining and AI and go see this in the theater, but they're the ones who got their deals done with Netflix. It's like you didn't have to do the deal with Netflix, dog.
No. And then over on the Rumble side, we did get a Rumble rant here before we get too far away from it. Let me bring it up here. I had it here. Now I hate X now, how they do their shit. PBST says, I watched a good Danish film on Netflix from a few years ago. Speaking of Netflix, Loving Adults. There's no woke, and it was into it the entire time. Oh, well, I mean, we could hope that Netflix doesn't destroy a lot of IP going forward, but they don't have the best track record.
Not at all.
But there's one good recommendation, I guess. Thank you for that. And then Kalekioki says, not going to lie, Tom, this whole ordeal kind of nukes the brief convo we had with Script yesterday. Zaslav and shareholders don't care about middle management. They were purely looking out for themselves. Well, I see where you're coming from on this, but at the end of the day, if Zaslav would have turned down an $80 billion deal, he would have been getting so much shit right now from people on the inside. And he could even be facing like a lawsuit of sorts if he had said no.
Well, exactly. He can say, this is the deal, this is what's voted for. And then as it gets closer, if he doesn't want to sell, he has to make an argument saying that Warner Brothers can be more successful without that. And that's like the hardest convincing job you'll have to all the people, because a majority of those stockholders, they'll just be like, nope, sell it. Let me take my shares. Let me walk away with a couple billion or 100 million, whatever value they had. And the rest would be the ones on the line. The interesting aspect with Netflix is that their infrastructure is so different from Warner Brothers. Warner Brothers would not have to cut any staff from this acquisition. Where
I'm curious if they will, because if they're running studio still as it was, then they might not have to cut hardly anybody. You were going to say something, Marvin?
Yeah. So Warner Brothers Discovery is having a global town hall meeting in about 2 hours to discuss all of this with the employees. It was laid out in the right after they sent out the memo. They also sent them a legal notice, though, that we reported on in that Park Place that basically said you are not to talk to anyone at Netflix about anything. So yeah, this is moving forward, and we're going to probably get some more information on what is said in this town hall.
Right. Probably tonight or Monday, I'm imagining we'll hear something by. But and that's the thing, is we can only speculate for now until more news comes out. And at the same time, it could be 2 years before this thing even goes through.
Yeah.
I'm more concerned with what's going to happen with the home renovation flipping shows on Discovery.
I know you are, because you've been trying to get on one of those for so long.
I've been trying to start a flipping channel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Flip this flipping house. That was the name of Paul's show. What was that, Andre?
But probably anything Discovery is going to continue exactly as it is on Discovery. So good news for you there. You probably don't have to worry about that.
Cheapest product on the planet.
Paul Chado's flipped off.
Flip this flipping house. I think that works best. Jeremiah Embry says, so we're saying Superman made money. And Marvin, did you get the stuff on Super Sentai? And Paul, did you make a video on why you love Toku?
I have not gotten the Super Sentai stuff yet. We've been very I was out all day yesterday with the Geeks and Gamers crew at Universal, and then today everything has been Warner Brothers and Netflix. So I will get a look at it, though, I promise.
What's this discussion about Superman didn't make money or made money? I'm so out of it.
It's just a lot of arguments.
Yeah, there's a lot of arguments about how much it made opposed to how much it cost. So
because they're going, okay, Zootopia made more money. Because their whole thing now is they're running with Zootopia made more money than Superman has already in its entire run. Well, guess what? Man of Steel got beat by the original Zootopia, I think, and a couple other movies at the same damn time.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, so what's the actual domestic foreign split, and how much of that Chinese money is Disney actually going to get to keep?
Mm-hmm.
See,
That's a
this
good
is the
point.
thing.
That's a really good point, Tom.
Yeah,
That-
it's just
that-
bragging points. That's all it is.
Yeah. Hey guys, unfortunately,
Yeah,
I
it's
do
this.
I have to run. I have an article I got to get up breaking news over on That Park Place, and then I got to be on the That Park Place stream at 12. So thank you guys for
All right.
having me today.
Take care.
See you, Marvin.
Appreciate it. See ya.
Yeah.
I'm on.
Take care. Thanks for joining us.
You were going to say something, Andre?
Yeah, and I was just going to say, pay no attention to all of these Superman lost money arguments or claims, because for one, it's not true. Second, if it was, it still wouldn't matter, because that's the direction they're going right now. And until Netflix decides otherwise, that's how it's going to continue. No matter if some people really, really hate Gunn and want to do everything to make that movie a bigger failure than it was. Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, and then we're also losing
We
Paul
are
here.
unfortunately,
Let me double check to make sure you
Yeah,
ain't got any
indeed.
super chats, but yeah.
yeah. Meanwhile, Paul, plug your wares.
You can find me on Call Me Chatto and on Appalling News. I'm having a lot of fun. I will be releasing hopefully a video on what happened to Mark Zuckerberg's metaverse that he introduced almost exactly 4 years ago. I think everyone has been talking about it incessantly.
The what now?
Yes.
I
Exactly.
never really understood the difference between that and Facebook.
Well, what's the difference between that and Second Life? If you're familiar with Second Life.
What Second Life?
So,
It's an old
yeah.
online game, right?
I was
Yeah.
going to say, yeah.
Yeah, it's a 3D, meta world. And
Like
you know,
the Sims kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, The Sims, and the world was
Oh.
you were going to wear your 3D goggles all day, go to work, watch TV, watch movies, and for whatever reason, it has not transpired. So I was going through my catalog of videos. I went, wow, was it 4 years ago that Meta started promoting this virtual 3D world existence? Where is it?
Humanity rejected it, Paul. That's what happened. Humanity said no.
It was worse than rejection. It
Yeah.
was ambivalence.
Yes. Oh, bless your heart. There. You
So
So
can-
check
Guys are-
out Call Me Chatto
Yeah.
and
And
Those are
appalling
deep.
news, and there's so much appalling news out there that I got to compile into something. So that might happen.
There you
Also,
go.
thank you very much, gentlemen. You're wonderful. Have a wonderful rest of the Friday and a terrific weekend. And we'll see you. And nice to see you again, Script.
Nice to see you too, Paul. I'll give you a call later this afternoon.
Okay, that'd be great. Bye,
Take care,
everyone.
Paul.
I'm Paulie too. Love Paulie.
And thank you, Troy, for being a member for 32 months. We appreciate that. Drew Tipton says, join late. Should Zaslav be worried? I don't think he's
Hell
worried.
no.
I think it's mission accomplished.
He just
don't
made
you?
a shit ton of money if this
Yeah.
goes through. Miller says, I'm surprised Apple didn't go for Warner Brothers. I just don't think they were that interested.
No,
I
they're
really don't.
they're good on their own.
Yeah. Packet Proton says, I would still like an interview with someone, maybe Chuck Dixon, on the subject that what makes something official versus fanfic. Well, I guess the easy answer
That's
is
a good question.
license. Who owns the
Whoever
license
owns
to it?
it,
Owns the
yeah.
copyright, the trademark, whatever. Yeah. But in a
Chuck
world
Dixon has
of,
written some great fanfic, though.
I mean, in a world where things are
In a
public
world.
domain,
Yes.
at that point, anything is, I guess.
Dear
If
boy,
it's public domain, it's
In a
all part of
world.
it. Yeah.
And then Packet Proton says the richest family in the world couldn't afford $80 billion for Superman. Well, they just spent a buttload of money on Paramount. So I mean,
who are we talking about?
Ellison's.
the Ellisons.
Oh
The
yeah.
Ellison. Yeah.
They're
Yeah,
talking about
look
the
there. There we
Saudis.
have some great.
Sorry, that's my
by
fanfic from
Chuck,
Chuck Dixon.
Dixon right there.
Oh, nice.
What is this?
Conan
Couple of
books.
Conan,
Conan.
novels.
Oh,
he
That's
Conan
Chuck
books.
Dixon's the recent Conan books.
Mhm.
Those are official or
Smart.
those fan written?
No. He's got him a cease and
No,
desist.
they are not. They're not official, but they will actually be re-released as official.
That's right.
Oh,
Which
Yeah,
is the best
but
result
those
of some good
versions are
fanfic.
Is that an exclusive right here?
Ooh.
It wasn't
who-
exclusive right here when Chuck Dixon shared it with us months ago.
No, I think he's talking about the super chat.
No, I was talking about the Chuck Dixon thing.
How about
Smiles
that?
Frown says, what you guys aren't thinking of is now they're gonna restore the Snyderverse.
Breaking news.
Well, they're gonna remake it. We gotta check it.
Well,
with
actually,
Mikey.
if that was gonna here's the thing, Paul. You joke about that, but if this
Yeah.
were to actually happen, it still would be technically like a remake of the Snyderverse because it would be like 5 years before it gets off the ground. You'd have to recast half the fucking people. And again, who wants to be the one to knock on Jason Momoa's door and go, by the way, you're no longer Lobo, you're back to Aqua Bro.
Here's the check.
Like, who wants to have that conversation with him?
Yeah.
I think the Snyderverse died with the Flash. I mean,
I think it did. I think you're
Yeah.
not
Oof.
wrong. Regardless of what the Snyder Bros will argue, that's got nothing to do with Snyder. It's like the audience saw it as still the same universe.
Ezra Miller.
Right, they don't care.
Snyderverse.
1 out of maybe 10 people knows who Zack Snyder is, if you're lucky. Most people who watch movies and TV are not like us, and this is one thing we do not understand. Like, we have some of the most elitist issues with and cannot get over. Nobody knows who the fuck Zack Snyder is. Most people still think Steven Spielberg directed the Star Wars films.
He did it?
These are fucking truths amongst the universe. Most people are not like us. They don't know what a director does. They don't know what a producer does. Don't even ask them what a key grip is.
or a gaffer.
Or a
They
gaffer.
not like us. They not like
They don't
us.
fucking know none of this shit. They don't give a shit.
I'm a
They just
best
know it's
boy.
Star Wars.
Go, Tom. Go. Go.
I have these conversations with normies all the fucking time. And then you sit there and you start trying to explain this shit and you get a blank look on there like, it's just fucking Star Wars, man. It's like,
We're very
Problem, dude.
granular here.
Lasers.
Most people don't follow any of this, you know.
it's like, yeah, I didn't like the Acolyte either, but fuck, man. Like,
Yeah, right. Let's talk about something else, man. Dude,
Yeah.
we care too much.
yeah. So the only people who care about the Snyderverse are Snyder Bros, and that's such a small sect of fans. Anyway, Pack and
Didn't Ridley
Protons.
Scott direct E.T.
Who's Ridley Scott?
Right.
Packet Proton says Netflix has supposedly said they already plan to cut on Warner Brothers theatrical release. Will it kill theaters? Yeah, we did actually address this, and this is not a good thing. This is a very bad thing. So we'll have to see how this works, but not good for Hollywood in general, let alone Warner Brothers. And this is where I think they're going to get the most resistance. What do you think, Script from the inside? Do you think so?
Yeah, I mean, theaters have been struggling for a while, and it's been a two-pronged approach. I mean, movies are shot differently, and they're not resonating with audiences these days. Netflix has conditioned most of the world to just sit at home and watch their content that way. Pricing for movie theaters is no longer for the common man, the blue-collar guy. So that also makes it harder to do. Because even though tickets could be considered like cheaper than most things, you still have to factor in commute time, driving, gas, or charging your electric vehicle, and then your concessions on top of that. And you're turning, a movie date, which normally would be like $30, when we were younger, is now $100 to $200 for two people. Overall expenses. It's outrageous, unaffordable, unsustainable.
Yeah, we'll see if this even goes
to the
through.
convenience of Netflix and streaming.
And this is just still assuming that this goes through, right? Like, I'm
Oh, yeah.
curious to see what happens. I mean,
We'll
I know
see
you
some
and I have been
creative-
asking, but
We'll see some creative counter arguments to prevent this from going through. And again, the courts were in deep regret after the Fox acquisition by Disney. Afterwards, they
regret
saw
doesn't set
how
a
horrible that
precedent,
happened.
though. Unfortunately, that's the problem.
I mean, aside from the fact that, yeah, because it's Netflix, you cannot argue that it's shrinking the industry. That's the problem.
Well, and regardless
Cinema
of what the
is not
choice was
going the
made,
way
it
of
still
the
sets a precedent. Yeah, go ahead, Paulie.
Cinema's not going the way of the dodo. It's just going the way of the vinyl.
Yep.
I hope there's something here, and we could. Well, I mean, again,
Like a separate
I just,
stream. I know. Yeah.
I know. Well, I want to hope this doesn't go through,
Mhm.
but I just don't think that's going to be the case, right?
I just think the behaviors of all of us were just, it's like what, Tom? Like 15 years? It's 2013. House of Cards. Over 10 years of just now being used to watching top quality content from home. I mean, that's what you do. I mean,
You're not wrong. I mean, that's the experience I had with Kill Bill yesterday. I was so pissed afterwards.
Right.
But
Because there's always that. So they're gonna go. These theaters are gonna get. They're gonna maybe get a little more expensive. They're gonna be driven for families, but they're also gonna try to, become a little more boutique because you want to cut out all that garbage.
well, they're gonna have to come up with more exclusive content, I guess. Well, the thing is that the thing they have going for them, and this is maybe where you can kind of chime in a little bit, Paulie, on this, because there was the big anonymous letter that came out yesterday, because I do know that a lot of movie stars and filmmakers are not going to want this to go through. They are not going to be happy about this because a lot of them rely on the theatrical release because they understand that is what gives them a global audience. They also understand that it's what makes the film more special, right? Like, as I point out, when they put The Little Mermaid next to Little Mermaid 2 and 3 on Disney Plus and killed the Disney Vault, that was the hugest mistake they ever made. This is the same thing, but on a bigger level, right? You've already got a split with directors and creatives in this, where some are happy to embrace Netflix because they can make their 3-4 hour movies, right? Like they never used to be able to do in theaters. But you've got some that are just like, nah, I don't want to do this because I don't make the kind of money or get the kind of exposure that I need to be a movie star or a director now. So, I mean, do you think that that's where they're going to get a lot of pushback? How many people are going to really want to work with Netflix after this? I mean, I don't know.
Well,
I'm curious.
Okay, so and help me out here, Script, because I think there's only a handful of these directors and stars that still exist to where they can, like the Tom Cruises, can still make their own special deals. Got to have my movie in theaters, set amount of time. Absolutely, Tom. And then there's those people like Del Toro or Jen Ortega that are screaming what you're screaming. Cameron and these other James Cameron and these other actors. But I think at the end of the day, even though they're lovers of cinema and they want you to go, they're also just gonna take that check, man, and hope for the best, because they are getting the deal. I don't know, Script, what do you think?
I mean, if you want to make your art, you got to go where the money is. And if it's not the distribution that you're expecting, I mean, you then have to ask yourself, am I making art because I want to express this story or this piece, or am I doing it for the money? And the people who do it for the money, they tend to like blip out after, a short spell. But the people that do it for the art, they will be committed to it. The other difficulty is that we've entered into a new phase where filmmakers of all sorts, if Netflix is going to be the biggest player, well, Netflix will take a look at your film, they'll run it through their computer algorithm, then they'll tell you what changes you need to make in order to satisfy your audience, which means that you're no longer going to have any type of counterculture programming. You're not going to have any challenging of thought or conceptions. It's going to basically, whittle it down to its bare bones aspect and your lowest common denominator to appeal to the lowest common denominator. And that's going to really hurt culture. And you're going to have to look at other platforms in order to express your stories. And then those platforms are going to have their own struggle as well, because you can't rely on YouTube. YouTube has their own policies where if they don't like it, they suppress it or nuke your channel. Netflix has their own. Rumble is basically a political sourced channel, so it's not going to be there for real entertainment. So yeah, you're going to have some difficulty finding a home that gets into people. Finding a home for your project that gets seen by the people that you want to see it.
But Tom said this earlier, is that they're not the only game in town. I mean, Tubi is growing.
Yeah, Tubi's great. And they have a great deal with Warner Brothers right now.
And they have a great deal for the artists, Tom. Mm-hmm. From the directors that I know that have their movies on Tubi, that's where they get their money. That's where they get a decent, healthy cut.
Well, yeah, because Tubi's basically what cable used to be.
Yep.
Right? Like, that's the thing, like as we've pointed out, the revenue that they've destroyed over the streaming model is insane. Because you used to get, your theatrical window, which was 6 to however many months, depending on if it's a film that was huge, it could play for a year. And then you get, then after that, you had your home video and your HBO and your pay-per-view. and then you had, you know, the network premiere, which was a big fucking fat payday, and then you had the cable syndication and other syndicated rights, which were another fat payday. So you had so many revenue streams for a film before it was considered quote unquote dead. And even then, you still had the video re-releases and all that other shit down the road. Like, these movies used to have a life that would just continue to roll and roll. And that's why Wizard of Oz is still as popular today as arguably it was 50, 60, 70, 80, almost 100 years ago when it was made. Because it kept getting re-released and revisited, and every generation, you know, this is why the Disney Vault was such a big fucking deal. Because every 7 years, they would re-release these fucking movies, right? And then at that point, they would say, well, they're gone. You can't get them anymore. Creating scarcity. Although you could go to your buddy's house and borrow their tape and dub it. Doesn't fucking matter. You know what I mean? Like, anyway, Clark Miller said Siri. Oh, go ahead. You had something to say?
No,
Paul?
no. I mean, and there's that whole other thing is once the movie or the show gets ripped and it's on pirate, then, you know, that's
in
another
some
thing.
cases it's happening now before it's even hitting streaming. Like I reported the other day that Predator Badlands is supposedly already out on streaming in 1080p perfect condition, and it hasn't even hit video on demand yet.
Yep. And Romy's movie, A Little Family Drama, it's now free on YouTube officially, the whole thing. Why? Because it got ripped, so it's been pirated. So they're like, well, we can't
see. Now that's a movie that actually gets hurt by pirating.
Correct, right? And what are we talking about?
Badlands ain't getting hurt by pirating.
No,
Badlands was already dead.
Yes and no, right? Because, you know, the actors don't get, you know,
there's
the
that,
residuals.
true.
That's part of their contract. That sucks. But it sucks even more. What Tom was saying was that I'm using that movie as an example, guys. Is there's a lot of movies, this Machian movie, let's say Tom Conkle, that they do everything out of their own pocket, maybe get independent financing here and there, script, and then you get it on Tubi or you're doing your thing, and then someone rips it and you're fucked.
Yeah, and as we pointed out before, and Andre was one of the people who pointed this out with, like, the big movies aren't the ones that get hurt by pirating. It's movies like the smaller ones. Dread. The reason we didn't get Dread 2 is because the first movie got pirated so hardcore. So
yeah, well,
anyway,
that's one of the reasons.
One of the reasons, but yeah. But anyway, did we read this one? Dark King says, how are CNN's financials? Could it stand alone?
Well, we didn't even read the previous one.
So it's not on my end, so you'll have to get it then. Andre.
I don't think CNN can stand alone, and I think that was what Ellis was hoping, that they were interested in CNN, which is probably what made the internals in Hollywood very concerned, because they didn't want a Trumpian to take over CNN, a global brand.
Yeah, no, they want that to be their own propaganda outlet, which which is biased as hell, but it's biased in the direction that they like. As for their financials, no, they're horrendous. This is something that Zaslav did. He basically kind of like split the company into two. So he had all of the good parts in this end of the company and all the garbage money-losing crap in this end of the company. CNN is at that end. So, yeah, no, there's no business case for anyone to buy CNN for a profit.
Yeah, remember CNN Plus? Remember that? That was a deal.
Well, and I think at this point, Discovery is the only one who they don't almost have to keep it, because every other network or whatever already has a news
division
outlet, don't they? To where, like, they can't. I mean, yeah, Netflix could take CNN, but what are they going to do? Just put CNN on Netflix?
Have a live channel?
Yeah, like I have a live feed on Netflix. Like, yeah, so it's staying as part of the Discovery package. So basically, there's your answers. That now CNN is basically a Discovery channel.
It's the redheaded stepchild.
And then getting back to the previous.
This was after this one. This was after this one, though, on my side. That's why I was asking.
Yeah,
is there anyone before that?
But it was on screen.
I know, but we skipped over Dark Kings. Was there any more that got skipped over, or is this it? Was there any before Dark Kings?
No,
Okay, I just want to make sure we didn't miss any. Okay. Clark Miller says, Siri, how many years is 82.7 billion seconds? For comparison, how many years is 82.7 million seconds?
Well,
Fine.
he asked Siri,
Now-
so good thing we don't have to do
Yeah,
that
tell us what
calculation.
Siri said. Then Kalekioki says someone mentioned
Yeah.
it in chat. Warner Brothers still sold for less than Fox. 71.3 billion is 90.5 in today's money. So good going, Zaslav. You still undervalued yourself. Is it
You're talking about
really?
inflation?
It hasn't inflated that much, Kalecki. Who said that? Whoever said that does not know how to maths.
You know, it is worth mentioning that this is like 20 times more than Disney paid for Star Wars or Marvel. So
I was gonna say that was only 5 years ago. There's no way the inflation went up this much.
Yeah, and also like the offer is 80 million, not 70. But
Yeah.
even so, probably it's a matter of now the offer is up to a point where Zaslav in violation of fiduciary duties if he didn't recommend that they move forward here.
Exactly. That's what I was saying. Is like, yeah, he had to take this offer
Regardless,
because they were going to
of
go
anything
with
else.
another round of offers until I think Netflix goosed their offer up a bit. Was what happened.
yeah.
We'll probably find out more information later. Packet Proton says breaking news: Hollywood star Terry Crews reportedly in talks to play Aragorn in Netflix Lord of the Rings reboot. Spotted on Tweety. I might actually watch this.
I would watch that before I watched Amazon's Rings of Power 3, I promise.
Oh yeah.
You hobbits. He was good people.
I'd rewatch the original.
Blonde leg,
Simple
he's
as that. Yeah.
Larry has become a member. Thank you for that, Larry. And then we got Yellow Flash in the house. We sent in 2 smackaroos to say, looks like it's a great time to get into anime, Tom. If they want to make an anime about me, I'll watch it.
Always a
$2.
great time.
That's all.
Oh,
he
look
gave?
who's here. Thomas Stavik. Congratulations on your short film, by the way. Sent in 20 Norwegian krona
cool.
to say, thanks for the share of Ruins Ignite.
Speaking
Must
of,
be
I have
making
Tom
good money,
Conkle's
indeed.
Tom Conkle's I Kill Vampires. He shared with me the rough cut, so I'm gonna check it out. It's pretty cool.
But yeah, Andre,
Yeah,
why
I'm
don't you
looking forward
plug
to that too.
Thomas's
Awesome. Yeah.
short film here?
Yeah, this is very, very cool short film. Shared it on X on the Midnight's Edge official channel there. You can also catch it out. Just check the description, and it should be linked to in the description. So check out Ruins Ignite. It's an extremely well-made Norwegian short film. Takes place in the historical city of Tønsberg, which is the same city where Captain America: The First Avenger took place. You know, where they found the first Infinity Stone. That's Tønsberg. And this is the real Tønsberg. And again, it's about finding some ancient relics from a galaxy long, long away and far ago. Yeah. Check it out. Link is in the description.
Indeed. And thank you for that, Thomas. And then we got Chuck Henry in the house, who's been a member for 38 months. Speaking of Andre, when's the next time we're going to do something for our members? This weekend? Soon? Possibly?
Well, we'll see what we can do over the weekend. We'll have to get our own ducks in a row, then we'll announce something.
Indeed. And Thomas says, thank you. Well, thank you, my friend, for also the intros and all the other work you do. And Script Doctor, what do you got going on? Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, just this Saturday, Scripts on Saturdays, screenplay review show, 7:00 Eastern. Yeah, I've been busy over here, so happy to have some time to jump in today, especially before the weekend, and yeah, chat with all of you guys. It's been great.
Awesome, and we're glad to have you here. Paulie, what you got going on?
I'll be live later. With Cameron and 4 p.m. Pacific. Come on by. We'll talk about all kinds of different things. Have a great weekend, everyone.
You too, Paul.
Thanks for being here. And
Very
Chris, what
cool.
you got going on?
And I was just glad to be here on a day that the Script Doctor showed up and Culture Casino rated the chat. What an excellent Friday today. Over on Bleeding Fool, we're talking about this, how Hollywood's kind of in a panic mode about the Netflix buyout of Warner Brothers. We also do a little story on that secret Steven Spielberg UFO movie that's coming out with Emily Blunt. We talk about a comic book writer who's locked down his social media after a sexual abuse storyline in a Marvel comic. And Denis Villeneuve's potential 007 pick over at bleedingfool.com. You guys have a great weekend.
Interesting. All right.
Fantastic.
Andre.
Yeah, with that, be sure to check back later. We'll have a video dropping before long. We'll have more dropping over the course of the weekend. Check out everyone else. Take care of yourself. And with that, we're bringing out the koalas in the rain.
Koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala, koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala, koala, koalas in the rain, koalas in the rain, no fucks given. Koala.